look around you, what do you see? Children going hungry, pain and misery.
Welcome to another segment of the Asafo Show. I'm Kim, your host. Thank you for tuning in this week. Today I'm speaking with Dr. Jifunza Wright Carter and her husband Fred Carter of the Black Oak Center for Sustainable Renewable Living. The Black Oak Center was established in 2006, and the Carters have maintained and evolved the center over time to continue to educate their community in the areas of energy and water conservation, sustainable housing, and organic food production. The collective vision of the organization is to create safe healing spaces founded on the principles of environmental stewardship and social equality. Their mission is to foster resilience by preparing our communities for an energy descent. I had such a great conversation with Dr. and Mr. Carter that we actually ran over the allotted time for the show. They have a great organization that's providing an invaluable service to the people in the community of Pembroke Township, Illinois, and people from other parts of the country who participate in the trainings and apprenticeships they offer. I also want to acknowledge that they encourage children to get involved, especially since their son, who's a co-founder, was the inspiration for the center. Finding alternative energy sources, controlling and creating your own food supply, and home economics is something that is heavily encouraged here with the Anu Spiritual Order and Training. As some of you may know, Chief has challenged the students and the listening audience to build their own solar array. So I would like to stress that you go to their website, blackoakscenter.org, to check out all of the literature and information they have, as we ran out of time and didn't get to cover everything. But first, a new business. Make sure you click the follow button on the Enlightenment and Transformation page of Blog Talk Radio to keep up with all the shows, as well as news and announcements with the Anu Spiritual Order and Training. Be sure to check out the Anu Order's websites, saduluhouse.com, anunation.org, and enlightenmentandtransformation.com. Okay, so I'm going to break for an announcement or two, and I'll return with Dr. Jifunza Wright Carter and Fred Carter of the Black Oaks Center for Sustainable Renewable Living.
We are an African people. We will remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors. We will honor the struggles of our elders. We will strive to bring new values and new life to our people. We will have peace and harmony among us. We will be loving, sharing, and creative. We will work, study, and listen so we may learn. Learn so we may teach. We will cultivate self-reliance. We will struggle to resurrect and unify our homeland. We will raise many children for our nation. We will have discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will live as models to provide new directions for our people. We will be free and self-determining. We are an African people, and we will win, and we will win, and we will win. Ashe. What is Anu Asafo? Anu Asafo is our opportunity to present our varied perspectives on our culture in an atmosphere that is conducive to and fosters growth and communal reclamation, the reclaiming of our communities, dissolving the lines of division that wedge a chasm between those who are authentically bent on destroying the strongholds that would maintain the veil of mental object among those striving towards higher awareness and what we will call ma'atic rebalancing. As we destroy, we build better individuals, better families, better communities, and a better nation. This is the work of warriors who are engaged in a war against a common enemy in the form of a mechanism of beguilement and spiritual subjugation. We build. Our new Asafo is a child segment of the Enlightenment and Transformation media experience, which of course is a child component of the Anua Nation. If you'd like to learn more about our various components and activity nets, I urge you to go to anunation.org, which is ANUNATION.org. The Anua Asafo segment on enlightenment and transformation is a student coordinated and managed show segment. Our Shule, our Sedulu, or what you may call our school component, is the Sedulu House. If you'd like to study with us or gather more information, visit theseduluhouse.com, which is SADULUHOUSE.com. The mission of the Anu Spiritual Order is to serve as custodians to original culture. We are here to share, and we are here to implement original, indigenous, and most significantly and empirically, Akibulanian culture and deep thought knowing. This has been the Jegna Chief Yuya Asan Anu, signing in and signing off for the Anu Asafo.
Welcome to the Anu Asafo. I'm your host, Kim, and today I am speaking with Dr. Jafunza Wright Carter of the Black Oaks Center for Sustainable and Renewable Living. Thank you so much, Dr. Carter, for taking out some time to speak with us this week. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. That's great. First, for our listening audience, can you please introduce yourself and give us a little information about your organization and where you're located?
Okay. Well, the Black Oak Center for Sustainable Renewable Living was established in 2006 as a not-for-profit organization to facilitate communities and being resilient. Initially, our goal, we thought, was that we could actually prevent the level of damage that's already been done to the earth. But the bottom line is we've all got to significantly reduce our carbon footprint. We all have to drastically change the way we live and are in relationship with each other so that we honor life in all that we do. And so that's the sustainable part, is being able to make decisions and live in a way and value things that bring a return that's far beyond one's person and, what it is that we would selfishly want to gain.
Beautiful. Where exactly are you located?
Well, we're located in the Chicagoland area, but we're stretched literally from a historic black farming community just about 60 to 70 miles south of Chicago on into Chicago. In our sustainable agriculture track, one of 4 skills building tracks that we have at Black Oaks, is the mission of developing a local food system. And so literally our work stream stretches from Pembroke, which is a rural community, on through challenged suburban communities along the I-57 394 corridors, going on into Chicago.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, can you give us a little background on why you chose the name Black Oaks for your organization?
Okay. Well, fortunately, the ancestors of this particular area where the Echo Campus is in Pembroke were excellent stewards of the land, and they were able to maintain a good portion of this 52 square miles that constitutes Pembroke Township. It was founded by a family called the Tedders. Pap Tedder and his wife arrived here from the south, came up through Ohio and Indiana, and landed 8 miles west of the Indiana-Illinois border, and established what is now called Old Hopkins Park. And Pembroke Old Hopkins Park is literally in what remains of millions of acres of a black oak savanna, which existed hundreds of years ago. Literally was created by the Ice Age. And so while we are touted as being one of the poorest townships in all of the state of Illinois, in truth, we're the most ecologically rich. We have the greatest diversity, and literally Pembroke in Welsh means aqueduct. And so literally we have all this feldspar sand that filters the water to make it pure, and it's the last of a marsh, an aqueduct system that was created off of the Kankakee River Basin.
Oh, wow. It has such a rich history.
Yes, it does.
Wow. Okay, let me ask if was sustainable living something that you and your family were already personally doing for yourselves, or how did this vision and organization come about?
Well, it was a sort of a series of things. My husband says that Fred Carter, he says that, the first shift that happened for us, and I would agree, was in 2001, when we had the 9/11 incident. And so literally that shifted a lot of things. We had a family business at the time. My husband was a Tier 1 supplier for General Motors, and so he was literally moving very fuel-inefficient vehicles by the thousands every day. And General Motors' second largest distribution center in the world, right outside of Chicago and Chicago Heights. And so we were not able to recuperate from that 2011 incident where some of our main folk went bankrupt or near bankrupt, as you might recall. And so in 2003 we shut down our family business, and my husband was sort of looking for a makeover. Learned about renewable energy, went to a class at the Midwest Renewable Energy Association, went to a solar class, and was encouraged to read a book by Richard Heinberg called The Party is Over, which spells out very clearly about oil and how much petroleum is woven into all of our lives. And it's a finite resource. And not only is it a finite resource, but its combustion is one of the major contributors to our current climate change condition, where we've just got more CO2s in the atmosphere than we've ever known recorded. So we were clear that our community, black people, were not at all prepared for this, knew nothing about it, maybe intuitively felt connected to it, but didn't know how to begin to address it, were not at all prepared. And that was the foundation for us establishing our organization. Our son, who just turned 18, we call him the true founder because he was, at the time, 8, 9 years old, and kept really encouraging us to be integrous people. And so, yes, we were walking around with coats and hats on, like I have on right now, when we were in our 3,000 square foot deluxe Chicago bungalow in Beverly, in a very nice neighborhood in Chicago. Definitely on grid. We were starting to practice lowering our carbon footprint at that time.
Oh, so you were inspired by your son. That's beautiful.
Yeah. He was born in December and was used to having snow every time, and we were homeschooling, and so he was very much aware about all the things that we were learning about. He was learning with us, and there was on his 8th birthday, there was no snow. It was about 50 degrees, and so he said, "Mom, global warming is real." And so we made a commitment to not only make sure that we did all we could, but to support our community in doing the same. And so that really was the inception of Black Oaks.
Wow, that's awesome. That you actually answered my next question, because I was going to ask, what motivated you to start a community around this vision? Because you could have easily have just said, we're just going to do this for ourselves.
Well, a lot of people do, and that's sort of what we call the survivalist mode. But what's really hugely needed, and I would like to bring, what's been kind of interesting for me in all of this, and I'm hoping that I'm not like rocking the boat, but was really us kind of having these confirmations around our indigenousness. So as we had purchased the Echo Campus, which is a 40-acre piece of land in Pembroke, in 2003, and at the time we knew that we had our marriage vows of creating a safe healing space, and we were learning about these things that have really shaped our lives now. But the thing that was important was this way to get back to our indigenousness. This way to be able to live as close as we could as our ancient grandmothers and grandfathers. And so a lot of the sense of community, being a head woman, it would be very Euro. It would be very Western thinking to just go and get all the solar panels and the wind turbines and the food and ammunition and whatever we thought we personally needed, and then be ready to off anybody that gets on our land or anything like that. That's that classic extractive mind. And so the new mind has to be this mind that the heart and the spirit follows. The heart and spirit leads and the mind follows. And that, we're constantly aware of our connectedness with everyone and everything. And we're aiming to, conscious. We talk about being conscious, very, very conscious of our connectedness and us actually being this living being inside a living ecosystem. And so, as when ecosystems are these living, functional, connected, woven things that, whatever you do and don't do impacts everything else. And so our ability to begin to pick up that, because, I like to say to everyone that we're the sons and daughters who kept the earth so well. On both sides of the Atlantic, the forest people kept the earth for thousands and thousands of years. And it's in our colonialism. It's been in our oppression, suppression, oppression, and repression that we have not been able to protect the earth. The earth has been terribly abused. We've been abused. She's not well. We are not well. And so the thing that we can do to really change this thing, far more than us going to, protest and being activists, and I hope I'm not offending anybody, but at the end of the day, all of us want, what can we do? What can we do? And what we can do is to begin to pick up our relationship with the earth again. And in the picking up relationship with the earth once more, we're picking up our relationship with each other.
I know something that our Jekna here at the New Spiritual Order, which we study indigenous spirituality, he stresses the importance of a mission statement. And I read about the organization's mission statement on your webpage online. But can you give us an outline or tell us a little bit about the mission and the purpose? You've already touched on it a little bit, but the mission statement of the Black Oak Center and how important that mission statement is to the organization.
Yes. So I want to say that it's been an evolving thing. When we first established as ourselves as a not-for-profit, our goal was that we were going to prepare communities for an energy descent. That was sort of our mission vision, that communities would be prepared for an energy descent. Now that we've already peaked in our world reserves, and now we're using fracking and all of these secondary processes that are a lot more ecologically toxic and more intense. We are saying that we're facilitating communities and being resilient. So what is resilient? Resilient means that we would have the ability to be able to withstand the shocks and the disruptions and the changes that are happening as a result of the earth being damaged so much. So oftentimes resiliency requires redundancy. So there's, okay, if this path doesn't work, then there's 4 other paths that we can go. If this thing shuts down, then we've got these other alternatives that we can go to. And so yes, the vision is that literally we would have families. Our focus is a lot on young people, because all of you are the ones that will have to take on this very, very different world. And, prayerfully we'll be able to negotiate and develop the skills. When we talk about 4 skills building tracks, it's the ability to feed yourself and your community, sustainable agriculture, your ability to provide energy efficient housing, sustainable building track, to be able to manage microenergy systems, renewable energy track, and most importantly, the resilience track, to be able to manage your head and your relationships with yourself and with all things. So if we can successfully impart those skills to the up-and-coming leaders, folk who are going to be taking on the responsibility of the earth and all life, then our duty is done.
I'm glad you mentioned younger generations getting involved. On your webpage and reading your mission statement, I see that you offer training programs and apprenticeships. So how does this work, or how is this set up if someone was interested in getting involved with the Black Oak Center?
Okay. Well, right now what we have is thanks to the National Institutes of Food and Agriculture, we have a Beginning Farmer Rancher Award, where we are in our final year of the Beginning Farmer Rancher Award, and it is actually it's a derivative of a program that we started called the Rotating Apprenticeship in Chicago, because people had land and had skills, and they wanted to be able to share with people who did not have skills and did not have land. And so that ended up extending literally across the urban, suburban, rural. And so now we literally have farmer trainees that are growing food, urban, suburban, and rural. And so we are starting a intro course on January the 11th on a Sunday. And there'll be pretty much like every other Sunday, and that will get us all prepped and ready for the growing season by March. So yes, our training program, our farmer training program, is still open for admission, and we are taking all comers. Those who have land, we have folks who are third generation farmers that we're helping to scale up to the next level, down to people who don't have any land, don't have any skills, can only work part-time in the program, brand new farmers who just got their land. So there's going to be a wide variety of things that you can learn and ways that you can learn and places that you can learn in the program this year.
So how would one go about registering for these for the training programs?
We do have a website, rastp.org, RASTP. That's Rotating Apprenticeship Farmer Training, RASTP, for as in Pembroke.org. And they can go on and learn more about the program and sign up there. We don't have our 2015 schedule up yet. We're still working through the finalizing of that, but we should have it up later on this month. So all you'll see when you go to the website is things that we did last year. But we're still finalizing 2015 schedule. Okay. The other thing you can do is you can email us at blackoakcenter@gmail.com, BLACKOAKSCENTER, blackoakcenter@gmail.com. That would be a great way to get us as well. So essentially our commitment is to create a local food system, a just, holistic local food system to transform urban to rural communities through education, entrepreneurship, and access to healthy, affordable food. And so we have been on this track for going on into our 6th year now. We've serviced at least 4 food desert, food insecure communities. And our commitment is we can create ecological economy from within our ravaged communities. This can be a way that we can begin to heal in a holistic way. So we have built social capital, we have built intellectual capital, we have been able to capitalize on built assets, so that we have literally created a new social norm where there's this, wherever we set up a market, it's a place where people are able to come and celebrate being healthy and being well. And so we've had folks who are actually had been in remission from cancers, have been able to forego having to do. Okay. The true founder is speaking to me now. So he's managing the animals. So so that's been the powerful thing, is that we've been able to have this scenario where, and this is our year that we're planning to really scale up. Our vision is that there would be 600 families that we would be able to on a weekly basis service their needs in a one-stop shop kind of situation, food and various other things that are locally provided from within our communities, and be able to hire to be able to hire our young people to work for the social enterprise, and so literally the wealth that's within our community gets sequestered in multiple ways holistically, and we can begin to generate financial capital.
Okay, before we go to a break, I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'll give you the opportunity to give us more contact information. But I live in the southern part of the United States, and here we have, pockets of people who are investing in sustainable living, but it's not as out there as it should be in this day and age. So, especially amongst the Black community, why is energy conservation? Why should that be of such a huge concern to us? Because many people here, I would say, don't even believe in global warming. They think that this is a myth. So there's no urgency to invest in sustainable living.
Mm. Well, I can appreciate that. Oftentimes, it's said that, the adverse weather conditions in the north, like weather shapes the behavior and the relationships of people in places. And so you're right. I can tell you, especially living off-grid here, it's in the teens. It's in the single digits. Last year we had way below zero weather for 50 days in a row, and so it certainly dictates your behavior, no question, especially when you're living off-grid. So I can appreciate if there has not been significant changes where people are living, and for the most part they're able to continue to do what they've been doing. I can appreciate that there not being a sense of urgency. What it is that I try my best to do is just encourage people to consider returning to our indigenousness, to some degree. I mean, in 1968, when Martin Luther King said in the March on Washington, the Negro is exiled in his own land, and so we've come to make good on a bad check, a check mark insufficient funds. It was speaking about us as a people having an indigenous right here in the United States. And most people then, including my person, the daughter of the Choctaw Nation, I knew that I had indigenous American grandmothers. Everyone growing up had indigenous American grandmothers. But unfortunately, a lot of what the civil rights movement was about, it was about our ability to be amalgamated into the extractive mind system and way of being. And so that's what's allowed us to be consummate consumers. People study us so that they can learn how to make people buy their things. And we're not producing, we're not manufacturing. Unlike how we were 100 years ago, 200 years ago, we were making and doing and inventing because we still were very much in touch with that part of ourselves. And it was a very creative part. So I think at the end of the day, it's really about being able to model things. I mean, you're absolutely correct. I'm sure having high levels of adversity where children are being killed every day in our community, where the joblessness is just, at unparalleled levels. These levels of adversity, oftentimes adversity is what it is that will move people to look for something better and want to change. Unfortunately, that's the way it is oftentimes. So if people are comfortable, they'll just want to stay comfortable. But I think the important thing is to get ready, even if there isn't my husband's here, so he's going to join.
Okay.
So I think the key thing is to keep modeling that and keep developing that, because there will clearly be a time when people are going to need that. And I think that's what it is that we experienced, that, we were hoping that things wouldn't be this fast and intense in terms of changing. And it has, but it was because we were out there educating people and giving people an opportunity to have a new experience, that when these things started to unfold and the confirmations were in front of everyone, then they were able to make a strong association.
Wow. And I think that people don't realize how much power there is in being able to control the energy that comes into your household, because that also empowers you to control the economics of your household as well.
And imagine controlling the economics of your community.
Right. Okay.
Just imagine creating the power that flows into your house.
Exactly.
That's the real power. It's not so much controlling, controlling the mechanics of it, but controlling the production of power.
Right.
Is a lot of freedom.
Okay. For the listening audience, we just had Mr. Carter to join the conversation. Mr. Carter, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, great. I'm one of the co-founders of Black Oak Center, and I'm the president and executive director. And I'm a certified permaculturalist.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you know what that means.
Actually, we can get into that just after we take a quick break for announcements. And I'd love to get into that. Was going to be my next question, actually. So before we break, I would like to ask you if you would give our audience contact information about how they can get in touch or get involved with the Black Oak Center.
It's two ways. You can call, you can send an email. You can join us if you're local here in Chicago every Saturday at the Quarries on 75th and Phillips at the Healthy Food Hub. You can call 773-410-3446. You can send an email at blackoakcenter@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook presence for the Healthy Food Hub.
Okay.
That's how you can.
What's the name of that Facebook page?
Doc, you know the name of the Facebook page? I'm not sure the name of the Facebook page. It's the Healthy Food Hub.
Okay.
Is the name of the Facebook page.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break for some announcements, and we'll be right back with Mr. Carter and Dr. Jifunza Wright Carter of the Black Oaks Center for Sustainable Living.
New products announcements. Be sure to check out our online store at saduluhouse.com/store. That's SADULUHOUSE.com/store. There you will find some amazing products and services that encourage your spiritual growth and development, including our online classes. Chief Yuya teaches classes on spiritual growth, personal development, and indigenous ancient spirituality. They're absolutely amazing, and they are offered online so you can access them from any location across the globe. The classes are also designed so that you can go at your own pace. So, you can register at any time and enjoy the ongoing support of our online learning community. Our new spiritual training phase 1 is currently available and is about ministry to self. So in addition to learning the foundations of indigenous spirituality, this class will provide you with tools and guidance on how you can empower and heal yourself. To learn more and for a complete list of topics, please visit us at www.saduluhouse.com/store. The Anu store also carries all of our new publishing titles, including Chief Yuya's latest work entitled Shrine and Altar. This work offers some powerful gems in establishing and building your sacred space. So be sure to get your copy today to either enhance or begin developing your spiritual focal point. Chief Yuya also has forthcoming titles including the 14 African Principles. So be sure to visit our store frequently to see when this powerful work will be released. And don't forget to check out our new order book collection, where we offer our entire book collection at a special discounted rate. In case you missed the self-actualization tour, Chief Yuya has released his lecture DVDs from the tour. So definitely check them out for a powerful learning experience. You can buy the DVDs separately or in collection, which includes the Shrine and Altar DVD, that is the companion to the Shrine and Altar book, which offers you a visual guide and information for establishing your spiritual gateway. And of course, we always provide you with tools to empower yourself. So learn to do your own divination with our new OB divination set. You can buy the OB separately or in a kit with its companion. Grasping the root of divine power, where Chief Yuya will provide you with instructions on how to do your own divination using this ancient oracle. Chief Yuya is also now offering his monthly spiritual services to the public. This is an excellent service that includes a monthly reading and spiritual work that is done on your behalf. This is perfect for someone in need of spiritual guidance, healing, or insight and support in any situation, including personal, family, or business. These services aim to bring you on the path to success and offer powerful guidance and spiritual work to overcome any challenges. To learn more, you can visit us at www.seduluhouse.com/store. Spiritual consecrations can also be ordered and scheduled at our online store. This service is excellent for someone considering undergoing an initiation or for someone who wants to undergo a spiritual and healing cleanse where they are washed to their crowning orisha and to increase their personal power. Consecrations are facilitated by Chief Yuya and are sold separately or in a kit with our new spiritual training course for a special discounted rate. For more information, please visit us at www.seduluhouse.com/store.
Okay, welcome back to the Asafo Show. I'm your host, Kim, and I'm speaking with Dr. Jafunza Wright Carter and Mr. Fred Carter of the Black Oaks Center for Sustainable Living. Before we left, we were getting into the conversation about creating your own food sources and just growing your own food and the importance of it. So not only do you teach about alternative energy sources, such as solar power, but you also teach permaculture design. Can you explain to us exactly what is permaculture design and why is it necessary?
There's a lot of interpretation of what permaculture is, and it's evolving over time. But how I'm applying the interpretation of what permaculture is designing sustainable environments that are ecologically sound and financially sustainable. And so what we've been doing for the last 6 years, I think, been doing workshops here at Black Oaks, also here in Chicago. We got another series that starts up on the 11th in Chicago, a 12-series workshop on indigenous permaculture. And actually, one of the founders of the term called permanent agriculture. It was basically how to design permanent culture, because culture and civilized life all stems from agriculture. You have no life without agriculture. Because when you talk about agriculture, you're talking about fiber, food, and energy. That's the foundation of everything that we do. The fiber from the material that builds our homes, our clothing, even some product lines. The food that we put in our body, and it's a lot of products that are being made through food products, food line. Energy. You mentioned earlier about energy. We've done classes in biofuel. So it's a lot of power and freedom. And this is how we lost our freedom. We lost our freedom by outsourcing our basic fundamentals. We let somebody come in and say, we'll grow the food for you. Don't worry about that. Come here into the city. Don't worry, we make your clothing, and we'll make everything for you. You don't have to do anything but come over here and let us extract your bodily energies, produce products that you used to make yourself. Now we're going to make it for you, and you just come here and work, and we're going to sell it to everybody else. So the thing that allowed us to lose our freedom is the thing that we feel allow us to regain it. So permaculture and sustainable designs, we believe, is a step for our community to regain power. Regaining power over your basic things of life. My food is number one. If you don't control your food, you can't talk about revolution or freedom. You're in a delusion about that. Because the plate determines all political outcomes. Just look at your plate. Just look at your plate and see how political the plate is. It controls your health. It controls your future and present genetic expression. It controls the fiber and products that are coming from that. It controls the energy. Like now there's a tremendous amount of corn that's being grown and other canola oil and coconut oil and a lot of these plant-based energies that are being used for liquid energy. So freedom is what we say Black Oaks is committed to creating in our community. We don't have it now. We've outsourced everything.
Right. I'm
even
glad
our
you.
pleasures.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was discussing with some friends not long ago about that very problem. I think that part of the downfall of the civil rights movement was that it trained most of the people to leave those family farms. I know down here in the South, I'm from Arkansas. Even my family, for many generations were farmers. But with the movement of civil rights and everything, most of the children wanted to go to college. They no longer wanted to work the farm. So, of course, everybody moved north and, got jobs or went to college and just kind of left the land. And so even here in Arkansas, if you go to some rural parts where especially a lot of black farmers used to own land, the federal government or Monsanto has pretty much taken over everything. And like you said, are just growing corn just abundantly everywhere. It's GMO corn. Yeah. So I think that's unfortunate. Yeah. Because they no longer wanted to. They no longer wanted to work in the field. That was not a cool thing to do. They wanted to, go to college and, move north and work in a factory or something. That was
my dad, bless him, while before he left, he used to always tell me, he said, boy, you're trying to do what we all ran away from. And that's true. They ran away from, even when we shared some of our experiences here with some of the elders, they said, oh my God, we remember those days. But at the end, he realized that they all regretted running away from it. They have no place to go back to when they retire. They gave up the land. Unfortunately, to some degree, my family, the ones that left, one uncle, he ended up getting most of the land. And my family left and came to Chicago. But we've been hoodwinked to think that what's on top of the land is what creates the value. So we were told, come up here and buy some brick. Okay, and that's the American dream, right? Is to own a piece of brick or some wood sitting on top of land that you don't own. And it's just 120 feet long and 75 feet wide. And you have arrived. This is the American dream. And that was a condition that was not only imposed on black people, but all people. Because right now you got about maybe 75%, maybe more, of the population sitting up in the metropolitan area.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That don't produce anything.
Don't produce anything. And you know, this is actually a global problem. One of the guests I had on recently is from Ghana, and just like you said about your plate being economically and politically controlled, is he was saying that if you go back to Ghana now, one of the staples as far as food goes are noodles, because the Chinese have come in and just kind of taken over. So that's one of the main food sources now.
China's taken over Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And